Things here, the action is already underway. Kurlos picking up that early kill here.
And Yoshiharu down.
And that is the big problem now for DeToNator Gold. You know, one of these big, strong tank players, they have to really protect that little back line they've got going off. It's going to be Dodloff on that Zenyatta, and that's a very important character to be keeping alive right now. DeToNator being able to answer back very quickly right now, being able to get themselves the first cap of the point, it looks like.
And as a reminder as well, DeLaV, the previous DPS, is now onto the Lucio Sosahate, the new hit scan DPS. This has been a pretty good change for DeToNator so far. They're going to run a sort of half dive, a mostly dive composition, but then with the soldiers to sort of back up. And so far, Yoshiharu already being punished. This is the early lead I'm talking about with DeToNator. Can they actually extend this now?
So, I mean, triple DPS here actually coming up for the side of DeToNator, trying something a little bit different. Fireball getting themselves a bit of cap time there, almost managing to make their way over there. With losing Rocket into this fight now, they are going to be without the big Winston up in the front line. Samurai D trying to get himself around on the side here, but Yoshiharu not being used to not being on a tank hero here. Now the DPS on the side of DeToNator are dropping. NZ now has this pulse bomb to work with. Also, will be able to pick off Dodloff around the side here, it looks like, as well. Great positioning coming out now from NZ to really open this fight up for Fireball. And indeed, they find so much here. Apudo coming in with the Dragon Blade as well, picking up a couple there, and they get themselves the cap back.
And realistically, Apudo shouldn't have been able to get his Dragon Blade before Anakin. Anakin was so much further ahead to start with. DeToNator as a whole were so much further ahead to start with. They still have that lead. They should still be able to come back with an alternate advantage here. Dragon Blade and a Transcendence. This has to be a fight win for DeToNator. If they can get this fight win, they can extend their progress lead, deny Fireball from catching up in terms of progress rate.
Well, it's going to be important to see if Yoshiharu can set himself up on that high ground in the back lines there and really unleash onto the side of Fireball, but with those two ultimates on the supports they have to work with. But Kurlos goes down very early into this one, so this is going to be the opening that DeToNator are looking for. The Transcendence now being used as well.
They don't even have the ult anymore.
And then this should be it for them being able to do it without all these ultimates, but indeed they drop the Dragon Blade as well, trying to take out a Tracer in the back lines. A little bit of an overcommitment here coming in from Anakin, but it should just be just enough for DeToNator to get themselves control of the point back.
These are the small things where DeToNator will lose their lead. The Dragon Blade they absolutely could have kept. There was only about 2 members alive with Fireball, 1 respawner, which was Kurlos. And realistically, Anakin didn't get a lockdown with the Dragon Blade anyway. So small things like this is how DeToNator start to lose the lead. Now they are on 60%, 40% left to go. They got about 2 more fight wins required to get this.
Well, Transcendence now coming in for the side of Fireball. Saihate did use the pulse bomb very early on into that fight and didn't manage to find a pick, so they do not have the man advantage here. But Sound Barrier now coming in for the side of DeToNator as well, going to be able to keep them alive through this exchange here. They will be dropping the players on Fireball extremely low. Zelfik's almost getting taken out, and indeed he falls down as well. The rest of Fireball should be dropping now as well on the back of this here, as Saihate now being able to get around the backside here, throwing out another pulse bomb for nothing right there. Again, a little bit of an overcommitment coming in for the side of DeToNator. Still haven't managed to get themselves the cap yet, but obviously all of the side of Fireball are wiped out. This will be the recap now for DeToNator.
So DeToNator managed to get the respawns and reinforcements back in time. DeToNator, this is not a clean game for them at all. They are still throwing away a lot of ults. I don't know if anyone sort of caught that, but Yoshiharu off screen actually used the tac visor as well. He had that available, used it, didn't see any kills with it come up with the kill feed. Maybe he did a bit of damage, but realistically, I think it did nothing.
Well, Dragon Blade coming in from Apudo now as well. Let's see what he can find with this one. But Anakin already taking down the mech on 9th, so they won't have that barrier to work with to keep them alive. And now Anakin answering back as well. Saihate doing a lot of work up in the back lines there as well.
That's
managing to find so many kills as well. They don't even get to keep this one into overtime. DeToNator picking themselves up the first map there.
And that was a big comeback after the big commit from Fireball. So there was a fight where DeToNator, where Saihate missed the pulse bomb. Yoshiharu a few seconds before they'll also use a tac visor, like I said. 2 ultimates out for DeToNator, picked up absolutely nothing, but what they did get was they got the reinforcements with the respawns a lot quicker. So Fireball, they did commit a lot more ults and they failed to get even more kills. So both teams really realistically with ults on both sides. And that's got to be Fireball's mistake, because with the amount of ults that they actually committed there, it should have been a fight win. And they couldn't clean up members. And DeToNator came back, they didn't have to use anything. They just completely out-fragged Fireball, and it was a really unexpected kind of turnaround. It's not something you look at on paper and say, this is the expected result. The expected result was that Fireball should have won that fight. Fireball never recovered from that fight, and they lost.
Well, this is something we've talked about as well, so DeToNator picking up the first map there. Obviously, let's see if they can close out map number 2 here. It's going to be very important for them, as we've talked about the momentum they need. and they do have that trouble closing up these maps here.
I've already low.
And they are picking them up. Is this the change they needed? This triple DPS on the side of DeToNator, pushing them over the edge there, finding themselves the man advantage right now. They do manage to find a trade kill on the side of Fireball, but it will not be enough actually, as Fireball should have to fall back off this fight here, and first cap should be going in the way of DeToNator unless Fireball can come in with the speed of the flash right now and get themselves onto the point, but indeed, it's not so.
And you expected Rocket to actually pressure Yoshiharu. One of the great things that Fireball did earlier on Night Market was they annihilated Yoshiharu twice in quick succession. They didn't do that this time around. And you can see the kind of effect he actually has when he's left alone. DeToNator have control now. Got a couple ultimates coming online. Fireball, I'm still waiting for NZNR to show me something on the tower.
Well, it's interesting that they're not running with that pharmacy combo there as well. Going to be opting just to have the Ana and the Lucio there. Just good work here from Apudo, but he gets paid. He gets paid for right there. Anakin all over him with the dash. Now he's got the Dragon Blade up to work with as well. This next fight should be easily going in the way of DeToNator, as Fireball have nothing to work with. NZNR just suiciding himself off the map here. These Fireball players need to fall back right here. Oh, but they are just going to be caught out in the white room and get taken down here as well by DeToNator. And DeToNator holding onto the point very convincingly.
I think Fireball really need Apudo's Genji here. They need Apudo's Genji, and they kind of need a Tracer from NZNR. If they had that, they could actually deal with Yoshiharu properly. Now they're just going to play Soldier versus Soldier. It's kind of 50-50.
Not much ultimates here to work with on the side of Fireball, but look at everything in the bank there for the side of DeToNator. Not letting Fireball get across the bridge just yet as well. Let's see if they're going to take the fight to him. Pulse Bomb coming in there from Apudo, finds absolutely nothing here. Dragon Blade now from Anakin, finding that first foot kill onto Kurlos. One support down on the side of Fireball. Make that a second, make that a third, and a fourth there from Samurai D. Make that Yoshiharu with the tactical, just wiping everything out here. And DeToNator looking very convincing in the lead.
Oh, it's a big fight for DeToNator. 4 ultimates used, maybe a little bit. The reason I'm not too happy with that is because we're only on 80%. Fireball got a chance here. They actually have an opportunity to swing this back around. They got a little bit, just a little bit left to use more than DeToNator, and DeToNator got to stay alive with just a sound barrier, and then they should be able to close it out. I'm surprised Fireball haven't done a full commitment yet. Here they go finally.
Well, Boogie Knight's coming in right now, sound barrier being used, but Yoshiharu picking himself up a double there. DeToNator already coming out on top of this fight. A Primal Raging Winston just helping Yoshiharu get himself back over to the point there as well. Thanks for shooting me back into my team there, friend. And now it's just going to be Winston falling down while he's left alone here on the point. See you later, Rocket. And DeToNator, 99% overtime ticking down. And that's going to be all she wrote as DeToNator picked themselves up the second map, leading 2-0.
And that was 100-0 as well, so it looked pretty comfortable for DeToNator. This is the most comfortable I've seen DeToNator ever. They didn't look this comfortable against Sun Sister. That was a close game. They didn't look this comfortable against Fireball the last time as well. And that was a game that Fireball won. There was a match that Fireball won. One thing I want to point out again, Yoshiharu uncontested for the entire Gardens kind of period. Didn't really see Rocket commit onto him. Didn't really see the team's dive functionally pressuring the back line of DeToNator goal, which is why I kind of want to see Apudo back on the Genji. If you put Apudo on the Genji, put NZNR on the Tracer, that's a lot more of an effective combo, I think, for Fireball.
Well, to my knowledge here, I think this is the first time we've seen DeToNator come out with the triple DPS lineup here, so I think this is working out extremely well for them, and Fireball just haven't really been able to react to this just yet. Ninth going to be switching over to the Zarya now, so I think this is very strong for the side of Fireball. We've seen the strength of that Zarya pick on Ninth right there, so it's
Fireball have changed the composition that I said would work for them, so let's see what happens with that.
Well, Ninth dropping very low already into this one, but DeToNator going to be the first one to fall there as NZR gets himself around on the back lines there. Now the rest of the side of DeToNator looking very frisky right now as well, so Hade finds himself that kill onto NZR, not even worried as he is still very, very low there. Samurai D going to be able to leap across to the south back. No, he's not. Apudo's going to find him with the slash, picking himself up Yoshi, and now without that soldier on the point, it's going to be Anakin forced back as well. All of the players now from DeToNator are going to need to fall back off this first fight, and Fireball picking themselves up the first cap quite convincingly.
Fireball finally, this is the composition, like I said, that's going to work for them. They have now shields from Ninth that are going to be able to support their dive. They have 3 competent divers where players are playing the correct heroes as well. I don't expect Yoshiharu to really stay alive here any longer, and the best part is Rocket's able to pressure Anakin as well, which was a pretty big problem for Fireball onto Garden. So.
Yeah, and DeToNator gets taken down again extremely early into the fight. Apudo all over him like a jam on a sandwich indeed. And now NZNR trying to get himself up in the back lines and find himself a kill onto Anakin. But now DeToNator somehow answering this, managing to pick themselves up a triple right there. Having that player advantage as Saihate pushes off the rest of these Fireball players now. It's just going to be Rocket left on the point alone by himself. He's taken out, and DeToNator recap.
Now we're going to see if DeToNator can do the swing back. Something I've already said, something Smite's already said, DeToNator will have had moments where they do actually come back into the game. I haven't seen that as much out of DeToNator, but I think it's a real possibility. They have a couple of ultimates here to use that I do expect them to have to commit. They're not super far behind, and I expect Fireball to also be able to commit here. So both teams, the winner of this next fight is going to be well ahead.
Well, now threw his pulse bomb into the abyss right there and found absolutely nothing with it. So the little bit that Fireball did have to work with, not coming out to much avail there. Going to be the sound barrier being used as well from Zelfix, and still nothing being used. So this could be Fireball's crux right here, it seems, as they commit a lot of ultimates to this fight. DeToNator not actually having to use anything at all and managed to clean up the side of Fireball.
That's the second or third, maybe even fourth time we've seen DeToNator be able to do that. It's kind of reminding me of when Blank played just about anybody. They just win fights without even having to use ultimates. It's like, hey, we can just aim really well. Let's just do that. It's working for DeToNator. And like I said, they're a decent amount of hit. Good news for Fireball is they committed only 2 ultimates, so they're still got a decent amount to work with here as well. But progress has swung in the other favor.
Well, it's going to have to be the biggest graviton of Ninth's life right now. They don't have a Diva to eat it, but look at this! Double lock up and throwing that Discord orb out, and Saihate just going to work as well, just taking them out in the backlines again. Fireball going to be pushed back very... I just don't even know what to say right now. DeToNator just absolutely turning up here with such a strong swing back as well, and not only committing 2 ultimates in that fight.
The Fireball, again, they went into a fight where they didn't really throw anything out there. They lost members pretty early, so arguably good choice. I'm going to say it was a good choice because they can come back to this fight much stronger than DeToNator are going to be prepared for. The other time I said that it was on Gardens, and unfortunately Fireball didn't quite manage. No, in fact, it was on Night Market.
Oh,
let's see if Fireball can actually swing it back to the ML.
But that's a big transcendence coming in. Let's see if it can keep them alive through it. It doesn't look like it as Apudo hits that Dragon Blade as well through the middle of that Graviton Surge. Has the Nano Boost to work with as well, but Saihate keeping things alive for the side of DeToNator. Dodoloff being extremely elusive. Finally, they managed to take him down here. And now, with just a couple of these DPS players alive, can they manage to do it? It looks like they should be able to force Apudo off the point here as well. DeToNator keep themselves in control, and they pick up map number 1. What is going on, Abril?
I think Fireball kind of falling off. Both teams, DeToNator have picked up. I'm going to give DeToNator, I'm going to throw DeToNator a really large bone here because they did really pick things up, and they specifically Anakin. The Anakin Saihate combo has been working out really well for them. Yoshiharu was a little bit hit and miss for me, but when Fireball didn't challenge Yoshiharu, yeah, he went off because there was no way he was not gonna, as a soldier, that was not gonna get pressured. So
there on Lijiang Tower, but indeed it is going to be the Sombra.
No, I'm not a fan of the setup plays. The setup plays have very little, if any, momentum, snowball potential, and the most success the teams have found has been off the snowball potential. So can DeToNator actually sit up here? We'll find out.
Well, Fireball, you know, playing very defensively up in the back lines there, so just waiting for DeToNator to bring the fight to them. Anakin already on 75% here, so moments away from seeing if he can set up a very big EMP, get this fight, get this party started, it seems.
I think Fireball are actually giving way too much positioning here. They need to play a little bit more aggressively onto the health packs to kind of deny DeToNator from leveraging them. Here comes a counter dive.
EMP comes in here. How many players can they take down extremely quickly? They find NZNR and Zelfix as well. Apudo, though, answering back here. De La Vie, though, right up in the back lines. He needs to get this kill onto Kurlos. It needs to be found right now, but Kurlos doing a great job at making De La Vie waste a lot of time as a lot of his teammates are falling down in the back lines, but Apudo can't do it all on his own there as DeToNator finally cleaning up this fight and managing to take the first cap. Very, very easily indeed, and let's see if they can snowball off the back of this one. They should probably switch off that Sombra, though.
Yeah, they won't be able to, because if you play a Sombra composition, your entire game plan is based on setups, and you can only win off setups. Now, Fireball gave that one away. Again, Fireball so far tonight they know what DeToNator are doing. You have enough time to figure out what their plan is. And I think Fireball just played that a bit complacently. Now they know the Sombra is in play. Well, they knew the Sombra was in play. They had the opportunity to deny the health pack. They had the opportunity to play their counter dive. They are going to go in now. This is going to be interesting.
Well, Pluto going to need to maybe do a massive Dragon Blade here, but not when the Helix rocket finds him. And now, De La Vie's up in the front lines here, doing a lot of damage now. No one really blocking him out. Takes Rocket down there. DeToNator just finding kills left, right, and center very, very easily. Now, De La Vie just pushing all the way up through the streets. Saihate going around the left side there, getting himself a very good position. All the ultimates as well on the side of DeToNator to work with. If we can push out NZNR up in the high ground, and indeed, Saihate finds him. Fireball just falling over right now.
This is turning into a real disaster for Fireball. DeToNator didn't have a snowball momentum to work with. Now they do because Fireball kind of just gave them a bunch of kills. Fireball didn't get any trades whatsoever. Here's going to be the EMP one more time. A good EMP here is going to absolutely secure it for his team.
Apudo up in the back lines, can't even help them. He gets hit by that EMP as well, can't even hit the Dragon Blade. NZNR so far back, has that tactical visor.
He's going to have to get this away.
But can't do anything with it as the rest of his team are nowhere to be found. Zelfix dropping down now as well. And DeToNator just rolling through this King's Row.
And now Fireball should be able to get aggressive. I don't know, Amakin's still staying on the Sombra. Maybe he's going to, it doesn't look like he's going to change. So for Fireball, you've now had 2 checkpoints to understand what the enemy team's trying to do. I don't think there's any more excuses for Fireball. They have to be able to come in really strong. 6 ultimates. This is it. There's no way they don't win this.
Well, super hacking skills there on Apudo, not even letting him get up on the high ground with the Dragon Blade, and oh my goodness, they find him. What is going on here? A wild Yoshiharu just finds himself that kill onto Apudo up in the front lines. Rocket down as well. Where are all the Fireball players right now? Are they even in this match? They've got all the ultimates to work with, and this is going to be do or die for them right now. NZNR with the nano boost. There we go.
That's a double kill on 1 rocket.
That's what they need to find right now. They should be able to push out the rest of these DeToNator players. And finally, they managed to stabilize a small piece of defense here. Let's see if they can hold this one down before point 3.
I really like that cute Matrix play right at the end that just kept Dotoloff alive just long enough to get back to his own team. But Fireball, that was pretty... Wow, I wasn't too sure what the result was going to be there because they kept getting picked off right at the start. When they finally didn't, and they got in with the fight, they started to do quite well. Here comes another EMP.
Apudo finally getting the Dragon Blade off. Sound Barrier coming in for the side of Fireball, but Apudo up in the front lines has no support, gets taken down out of this one, only finds 1 kill with the Dragon Blade. So now a lot of pressure needs to be put onto NZNR, and it is indeed going to be Samurai D all over him. Still letting him just go to work here up in the back lines. Ninth managing to find the mech of Yoshiharu as well. So this should be a fight that Fireball can take out now, as they do have a little bit of an advantage here. But DeToNator right up in their faces here, and they are paying the price on this final push. Fireball managing to stabilize yet again.
I think DeToNator are going to find pretty quickly that they're not going to be able to successfully... Look, Fireball even just checking randomly for somewhere. This almost feels like when you're playing TF2 and there's a spy and you're just team checking everyone, just like, are you the spy? Are you the spy? I'm not too sure.
Great game, that one. But now, I mean, this should be when Amakin switches off after, you know, that little silver slide, but it looks like they still want to work around, you know, that EMP, see if
so
they
check this. Rocket's actually playing Reinhardt. So saying we haven't seen a Reinhardt play out of Fireball for a long time. And if we did, I assumed it was going to be Zelfix. It's actually going to be Rocket. I don't know how he's going to deal with this. Obviously, Fireball practiced something in their scrim time, but this is kind of untested, at least for me.
Samurai D taking Reinhardt to Reinhardt there, switching up to the Reinhardt up the side of DeToNator as well. Still has Yoshiharu here as well. We've seen some self-destructs to be used to great effect, especially on this 3rd point here.
EMP's up.
And he gets right up in the back lines. No one manages to catch him out there. Sound Barrier now coming in for the side of Fireball, so this could be what they needed. But self-destruct finding its mark there. Saihate going to be hitting the tac visor. Does get taken down by NZNR over on the side, but DeToNator finding all these kills on the point. Nano Boost coming in. Can they manage to find the kill here onto NZNR? Yes, they can. Cart moving extremely quickly here. 3.7 meters left to go. DeToNator have the taste of victory in their mouths. Fireball looking frantic to get themselves back on it. It's going to be a Sly Lucio. It's going to be Zelfix trying to keep it alive. Can anyone contest it? It's looking like this one's going to be coming up all DeToNator gold. And indeed, they managed to get all 3 points there. Minute 58 left in the bank.
I bet you skipped the heartbeat there when you said the cart was moving fast.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, it stopped.
And it was literally just standing there like, yo, oh, well, that's...
I was like, oh, it's going fast. No, and it's not.
Better slap a ticket on that one.
Not. It's a classic.
Did you catch the speedo on that one, Ethan? How fast was that one moving, officer?
That's a good 2 miles per hour. Gonna have to send you to the station there, mate. It's long weekend, you know. They're pretty tough on those. Not actually long weekend.
But Fireball. So, wow, Fireball. I want to give them the benefit of the doubt, I'll say, okay, you lost to Sombra on the 1st checkpoint. Happens.
Like I said it was going to.
Yep. Happens all the time.
Hey.
But 2nd checkpoint, 3rd checkpoint, come on, Fireball, please. 3 times. Fool me once, fool me twice, but
Fool me 3 times.
fool me 3 times. You fool me 3 times. You just can't.
Think about the composition that they swapped up to as well when they're on the 3rd checkpoint. They went hunker down.
That wasn't even the problem.
I mean, no, it wasn't the problem, but it's also punished pretty heavily by EMP, right?
So
you've got a Reinhardt. His shield's
Apudo
really
needs-
good.
Apudo needs to wake up.
So let me
Apudo
talk
needs
to
to
you
wake
about
up.
the correct. It's a play style issue. This is the correct line of play up against the Sombra. So to start with, you see the Sombra. You need to be the one. Your team needs to be the team to get the initiation. Your team has to be the team to start these fights and get the early, not only the early picks, but get the early positioning as well. You want to play hunker down. You want to bunker down in the back of your base. You're going to get a full team EMP'd. And this is the thing about Fireball is there's a Sombra on the other team. Cool. Don't wait until the EMP comes into play because DeToNator want to choose when to play the fight, and they want to choose when to play the fight when the EMP is in play. So if you're Fireball, you need to choose to play the fight when the EMP is not in play. That's going to be your best chance of winning. They don't really do that.
Well, that was something I was going to sort of talk about there. Is looks like DeToNator really forced Fireball into playing their own game there, and now let's see if Fireball can force DeToNator into playing their game. With the Widowmaker pick,
This is awkward. It's like, where's the team?
Well, I mean, DeToNator, again, taking a page out of Fireball's book there, sitting all the way at the back, and then they pounce on them with force right now, all the way up into the front lines there. Ninth going to have no support, going to be getting taken out there as well. So Fireball finding themselves a couple, but it doesn't look like they'll be able to do anything off the back of this unless they find Yoshiharu here. But the Helix rocket, whoo, that's going to be all DeToNator need to stabilize this piece of defense.
Everyone heal up.
Good plays, particularly from DeToNator, who I feel was the key player in pressuring out Ninth. That was just kind of annoying. Ninth wants to take shots onto just about everywhere else, and he's like, where am I taking this damage
Why are
from?
there balls in my face?
How am I dying here? What's going on? Fireball got, unfortunately, with the Widowmaker, they got the early pick. And now he took out the problem player for him.
Oh man, if he managed to get that one
good.
as well, I was about to say, this is going to be a highlight reel here. Pudo managing to find himself another one, but it's going to be Anakin answering with the sword. Finds a second kill there as well, so this might be all DeToNator need again just to hold this defense down. He's going to be getting chased down by a Pudo, who is the better ninja right now.
Why would you deflect that? You can't deflect a Dragon Blade, Anakin.
Oh
Surely
my
you
goodness.
understand you can't deflect the Dragon Blade.
I mean, maybe it's a little bit of that panic play there, but Apudo going to be picking up Saihate. This should now be Fireball's point to take it. Dodoloff falling down again as well. Now Apudo's woken up. He's gotten out of bed this match, and now he's managing to find all these kills up in the back lines here. Fireball should be able to grab themselves a cap off this, and we'll have a little bit of snowball momentum to work with. I mean, looking at the ultimates there, but still have that Widowmaker.
I can describe that moment of Anakin deflecting Apudo's Dragon Blade as the same moment when you said the cart was moving really fast. It was just instant regret. Shouldn't have done that. Shouldn't have done that.
You saw it all over my face, didn't you? Oh no, what have I done? It's 3.69.
Instant regret.
But now NZNR managing to push all the way up here into the back lines. A little Lucio boot there just to push off these flankers. Oh, and that's going to be Yoshiharu making NZNR pay now.
Saving rockets just for him. I got one with your name on it. I got 3 with your name on it. It's a triple.
he's learned, obviously, now. He's decided to save the rockets there for when we get pushed. And then down ninth, being up in the high ground there as well. Anakin finding a couple of headshots onto him. We've really got to watch out now for Anakin, see what he can find on the Genji here. If he can manage to get the Dragon Blade up very quickly, this will be what they're looking for. But they do have that attack visor to work with. Sound barrier now coming through, keeping everyone alive through this one. It's going to be a Pudo trying to chase himself down again, and again he finds it, while the rest of his team clean up these DeToNator players here. Transcendence being used as well.
Unnecessary Transcendence, but they could have been a slightly cleaner fight for Fireball. What I liked was Zalfix's sound barrier. That kept Ninth alive, and after committing so much onto Ninth, where realistically the entire dive by your tank, by your Winston, was purely on Ninth, which means you didn't open up any plays onto any other players for your own DPSs to really go on. And to have that completely denied by one sound barrier, you saw how it detonated. The Anakin and Saihate after that were like, I don't know what to do now. They started to run away and Pudo punishes.
Well, DeToNator taking the fight straight to Fireball, and they take Ninth down as well. So this is exactly what they need, taking out these two squishies here as Kurlos falls down in the back line as well. Anakin going to have the Dragon Blade up. Hopefully he doesn't commit it to this fight. DeToNator should be able to clean this one up without anything else being committed to it. And indeed, great fight there from DeToNator to stabilize. And I think this is a little bit better than what we saw coming out from the side of Fireball on point number 2 defense.
Yeah, Fireball went in with so much in the previous fight. You can see how big that Transcendence would have been. Wow.
What is he doing? What is he doing? What?
He's gonna do this.
No.
He's actually gonna do this.
Way.
Pay attention, DeToNator. This is hilarious.
No way! Unbelievable. Anakin's up in the front lines with the sword out thinking, oh, look at me go, boys. Look at my triple kill. Oh, wait, why have we just lost a point there? And now Anakin, he's very angry indeed, trying to make NZNR pay, but NZNR does not care at all. He just says, thank you for the cap, mate. I'll go back to spawn. No worries, buddy. And now DeToNator looking shaken up after that one, Avril.
I was going to say Fireball, they're going to have to take another couple of fights, wait for maybe a couple of ultimates, get some early picks, just the usual story. It's going to be a Prudo coming in again, denies any chance of Transcendence. It should be Fireball making a pretty decent push on through, but they need to save a few ults to actually make the final push here. Using too much earlier on in the third checkpoint usually means you're going to give the other team the ability to actually stabilize.
Well, a little bit of tunnel vision coming out from DeToNator, and now things are not working out well for them at all. Fireball quickly cleaning up that
It's a
fight.
good stall from SaiHate. I quite enjoyed that.
Did you?
Because it now means that Fireball, for all they committed in that last fight, they got no objective off that. So they actually, you have to always be able to translate a team fight into some sort of objective. And if Fireball not being able to do that, kind of completely nullifies the team fight. Now we're going to see another engage from Fireball where they do actually commit again. This is the big one. They committed a lot to this.
Well, passing into the Iris, it's going to be
still
Fireball.
no objective. They're not getting pushed.
And, I mean, great stuff here. Now, Fireball cleaning up the kills here, though. This is exactly what they were looking for. And this is going to be them making a lot of movement on the cart as it moves very quickly now towards the final checkpoint. And it is indeed. There's not much contest coming out now, but as DeToNator do finally contest, it's going to be the Transcendence round here, but the self-destruct doing great work there, and it's just going to be Fireball pushing that one over the edge with just a little bit more time in the bank than DeToNator. It was moving very quickly.
You got to think, if NZNR didn't get the back cap, what would have really happened there? Because I don't expect Fireball to have gotten a quick of a time as they did without that. I think it was a really sneaky play from NZNR that really paid off for them, but it's really DeToNator not paying attention, I think.
It's not something that you'll say like, oh, they did this well with this result, so it's going to translate into the next match. It's something that came out. It's a very unique situation. Teams should be aware of it, of
Seriously,
course.
it's not like an XPK moment where he went for the back door and just outplayed everyone there and just got the cap right. NZNR, it's not like Anakin went back to challenge him. Anakin got owned in a 1v1 and NZNR gets the hero cap. That just wasn't the case. It was like DeToNator fell asleep for a bit and then they realized when it was too late.
So I mean, they were sort of like, the comm must have been, we're going to take the fight straight to them. We saw the Dragon Blade come out there and, he's going, look at me, boys, look at me with my Dragon Blade out. Killed 3, pretty good, eh? Wait, why have we lost the point?
Surprisingly enough, this is actually the second time that's actually happened in this tournament. And
who did it the first time?
It was someone from Sun Sister.
All right. Okay.
So funnily enough, this is a Japanese trick right now. This is something that these guys have clearly been sharing between each other. They're like, hey, if you're actually losing the checkpoint, just go sneak behind enemy lines with a tracer.
But Fireball did it.
When you say it's a Japanese thing, you mean like a Thai Japanese thing, because it was Fireball that did it, right?
Was it Fireball?
Yes,
Yeah,
it was.
yeah.
Speaking about falling asleep, so DeToNator asleep, Smite's asleep. Easy, you're awake, I'm awake. Let's get into this. Sign back.
I was like, what are we going here? And indeed, what is going on here? As DeToNator just taking this fight super quickly indeed, finding themselves their kills onto Fireball as they get extremely aggressive into this one. And I mean, the hack, not even needed here.
Yeah, well, they didn't even need, this is another thing, they don't even need the Sombra for this. The Sombra would be, I can see the argument for Sombra here being that if you want to actually go for the setup play and your goal is just to cap the first point, fantastic. But actually they have the opportunity to get a lot more than that. And with or without the Sombra, they get an EMP anyway. They should be chasing kills as they are.
Wow, DeToNator going full Usain Bolt right now, just charging down the streets phase. Don't even need to use anything here, just left clicking their way to victory, it seems. What is actually happening here? Fireball, I mean, a little bit of luck on their offense there, and then on the defense, they are just made of paper right now. They're just getting blown away.
I think DeLaVie really opened it up as well. He got the first initial couple of kills. Obviously a hack in there. I don't know if Anakin actually got it because it didn't see, but if he got it, fantastic. If not, doesn't really matter. But it's a case of we're back onto Lijiang Tower, Fireball come in, and DeToNator just win because they frag better. So far, that's just been the case. Fireball now going to play into another EMP. If they do what I said last time, which is they need to pick the fight and they need to initiate first before EMP comes into play, they have a chance.
Well, EMP comes in through there as well. Tactical Visor as well coming out for the side of DeToNator. Prudo looking to try and keep this one alive.
Actually.
Gets double and that's a lot better than what he's usually been finding with these Dragon Blades, but the rest of his team are just dropping like flies now, as DeToNator looking very frisky indeed up in this King's Row attack.
I'm expecting a second cap here, just because DeToNator are also now still so far ahead in cap. So far ahead in ultimate. And they've made such good use of this time here. If Anakin can get into the EMP, they might actually be able to cap out all the way to third as well.
Be interesting to see here. The dive now comes in for the side of Fireball. Pulse Bomb being used there to no avail as well. And Kurlos already taken down to this one. But DeToNator's Pulse Bomb going to be finding some kills there. So have that Self-Destruct to work with as well. And a Primal Rage on the Samurai D as well. Self-Destruct coming in. Doesn't find anything.
He dodged that one, but he doesn't dodge that double off.
But it doesn't matter at all, as they managed to pick themselves up the second cap there. And I mean, Fireball looking very shaken up here indeed after this. Do have a Transcendence coming into this next fight. And a little bit of a Sound Barrier, maybe the Primal Rage to work with as well. But I mean,
the problem for Fireball is they have no damage output. They're relying on pure player damage output, and we've already seen what happens. DeToNator have just been doing that better. Amakin's nearly onto EMP already, and if he gets that, I'm expecting a full cap.
I mean, I don't know about Knight's position here. He's just right out in the open here, not even trying to use any of the higher ground here, just getting completely
pested. He doesn't have time.
It doesn't matter though. It doesn't matter though. Fireball finding the kills that they needed to. Now Apudo hitting another blade here. This is going to be what Fireball were looking for. They should be able to hold this one. Overtime is out of here, and DeToNator. What an attack that was there. Fireball have a little bit more time to work with. Let's see how they go on their offense.
And all it came down to was that initial push out, securing all the kills. No defense at all for the first cap. Get the cap again without any real hassle. Get the card out. Chase the remaining kills. Fireball come in for a team fight. They lose because DeToNator already hit on ults. DeToNator capped the second point. Now Fireball finally coming in at the end, securing the kills. I said they didn't have the damage initially, but getting a couple of the ults in the middle of that fight while DeToNator was still waiting, that was good timing for Fireball. So Fireball, a team that really needed to take the initiative a lot in these fights, finally did it in, but I think they did it a little bit too late. And for Fireball to come back now and to try and cap as far as DeToNator did, it's a tall order.
I think someone's lit a fire just underneath the side of DeToNator tonight here. They're just looking like a completely different team, I feel, from what we've seen in previous weeks. And I mean, coming up against Fireball, I would have almost written them off entirely coming up against Fireball, just at the rate at which they'd been improving here. But I mean, in all honesty, it looks like Fireball have absolutely no chance.
I mean, not much else to say. I mean, in that attack, DeToNator, they just killed the other dudes a lot better. Very simple. Great analysis there, Smite.
You win by getting more kills. You're not even wrong though, because
not a huge amount of time.
You're not even wrong though, because where Fireball should be making trades, DeToNator are just outright winning. So Fireball got a lot of work to do, not a lot of time, and they lose members at the start again.
And it's such an important member as well. It's going to be NZNR getting taken down extremely early into this one, and now the rest of the Fireball side just being withheld just slightly here at the gate. Now can't really push through. NZNR going to be making his way back now to the squad, so let's see if they can push their way in here. Do really like the position that Knight's trying to get hold of right now, as Apudo is actually going to be leading the charge up into the high ground. We'll leave it alone here, but look at that positioning coming out from DeToNator, just baiting the fight out now from Fireball. We've seen them do this here on their first defense, and see if it works out for them again.
Yep, hashtag squad goals, and see if Fireball are actually going to be able to make this pushing through. And losing members early on, they've already used up, what is that? Pretty much 30 seconds without getting too much leeway so far. They are now able to pick up a decent number of kills, but I think the trades coming up from DeToNator might still slow them down.
It is indeed. Amakin being a thorn in their side here, just being extremely annoying on the point, managing to stagger this one out ever so slightly. Will not be able to escape with his life here, and this will be Fireball managing to get the first cap here. Minute left.
It's going to be contested. There will be a contest.
Oh my goodness, they managed to make their way back in the nick of time. DeToNator not wanting to give this one up too easily, but the player advantage definitely in the way of Fireball. I think they're just going to be feeding them kills here, and indeed they are. Still just buying themselves that precious time though, and I mean, that's what it's all about.
So this is a 50-50 play for DeToNator, because on one hand, you deny a little bit of time, which is incredibly important going into time bank. On the other hand, you're right, they fed ults to Fireball. So Fireball, what they got to do with that is they have to be able to use advantage and really really spread out and ration their ults to say, we need to use a Dragon Blade here to get past the first corner or the second corner. We need a Pulse Bomb here, and we need a Transcendence if we're going to lose this fight. We need a Transcendence to be able to live through and actually be able to cap the second checkpoint. They got a long way to go still. I expect DeToNator to get aggressive.
Well, Saihate manages to open that one up and didn't even have to use the Pulse Bomb here. Anakin still holding onto the Blade as well. Transcendence, though, coming in from Kurlos there, managing to keep Fireball alive through that one as they pick themselves up some kills. Let's see if it's going to be that hero play from Anakin up in the window. Doesn't look like he's going to be foolish enough to jump into this one, i.e. his death. And Fireball going to be able to make themselves a little bit more ground here, but they've got a lot to go, and they're already in that overtime.
Oh, there's actually DeToNator members somewhat far ahead that can get picked up if they're not careful, and Fireball looking for as big of a snowball as they can actually get. DeToNator now losing 2 fights means they fed a decent amount of ults. The difference between them and
Whoa, picture and picture and picture and picture and picture.
I tripped out and seeing if
Well, Anakin's not tripping out right now as he goes straight in with the Dragon Blade, but Kurlos manages to find him there. The Pulse Bomb from
It's like a
Saihate
trip back to base.
did open up 9th up in the back lines there. Yoshiharu going to be losing the mech as well. So DeToNator slowly falling off this fight here. But look at this, Samurai D manages to push Zalfix all the way back now. So
That's not
Fireball
good. He needs to play on the card. He needs
Fireball
to be
without
on
their
the team.
support. And this is going to be extremely bad for them here. NZNAR shouldn't be able to stagger this one for too much longer as all the players from DeToNator are all over him right now. He will be able to escape. Will he be able to re-engage even? And now Fireball looking extremely good to push their way through this one. But where are the rest of the team members here? They need to get in and help NZNR. Saihate falling down there as well. Rocket, what a godsend. And there they are, and they do manage to get this cart moving. Will they be able to get it further than DeToNator though?
With the Pudo's Dragon Blade, that's going to tell the entire story whether they win or not. One ultimate is basically going to decide Fireball's future here. So far, Pudo's been looking good. And DeToNator, they can't wait for the cart to get to the second corner before they actually take a fight. DeToNator kind of got to go now.
Where is Samurai D?
They got no time to wait. They got to just go.
Well, Samurai D on the super flank here, getting up into the back lines very simply. With
Pudo's already got 2.
Oh my goodness, and that's the damage as well. It's going to be Anakin falling down. But they do manage to have a little bit left in the tank, but it's not enough. They're running on E right now. DeToNator are wiped, and this is going to be Fireball doing it with grace, pushing this one over and picking themselves up the cap. Wow. I don't even know what happened there. They seriously just woke up.
Grace might be a little bit too...
But they are sticking around just a little bit too long, I feel, on the outside point here.
You could be right. They might actually be going directly for the point. They already lose Zalfix. Fireball already lose Zalfix, which is kind of going to be, it's going to be a little bit problematic for them. And eventually, NZNAR will have to pop off if DeToNator play the cap, which is what they're doing now.
Well, NZNAR did manage to find that kill, so Anakin going to be taken out there. And I mean, Hog, big damage that they were looking for, but getting themselves a couple of kills up here on the point. So Saihate getting very aggressive as well, going to be right up in the front lines. As I say that, he runs backwards, so not exactly what they were looking for. Now they're just going to be teaming up all over 9th there on the point, managing to force him back there as well.
This
is going to be
really
all
disappearing.
DeToNator.
And it's not like Fireball don't have members to contest, it's just taking a long time to get in.
But they've given a lot of ultimate here, and this is going to be the Nano Visor coming in now from the Saihate. A lot of bit of blocking coming in from 9th, but it's going to be absolutely pounded right now as the rest of DeToNator are there to back them up, finding a lot of mileage out of that one. And this is definitely going to be DeToNator's cap. And now all these Fireball players drop down. Good momentum to work with here on the side of DeToNator, but not many ultimates, only an Earth Shatter in the bank.
And still, it's Fireball.
Oh, they change off it.
What did they do?
They had like 90% on the Earth Shatter, and then Samurai D just switched to Winston. So they go full dive.
Oh, well, that does, and Anakin goes on to Sombra, so any momentum they had is now going to be lost, but they're going to go for setups again. They like to play the setups. DeToNator are a real setup type of team. Go for the big one massive death push is DeToNator's play style right here. But I was going to say Fireball have still so far not been able to show the initiative to pick their fights. Every single fight has been on DeToNator's initiative. DeToNator always pick the fights and Fireball just have to respond. Fireball can't continue playing like that. Not when they're running a counter dive. Any shape or form of counter dive, they need to make the move first.
I think DeToNator have been playing these positions quite well here. It's interesting to see. I think NZNAR has now finally just got himself up on the high ground, so that's going to be very important to note there. If he does manage to remain uncontested up there, I think he is on the opposite balcony as well, so he could be the thorn in the side of DeToNator. But look at this setting up for the EMP. Nice positioning there. Finally gets caught out here though. Going to be a Pudo all over him. Going to be jumping straight back up to the rest of the team, looking to reset up again. Smart play from DeToNator there to not overcommit into that one, but a Pudo. Just as good play there as well, being extremely aggressive and managing to catch that one out before it comes through.
Positioning from DeToNator is fantastic currently. EMP coming down as well is going to be good, but they have to survive the self-destruct from both sides.
It's just going to be Anakin falling down there as well. Now Dodoloff managing to pick that kill up onto Rocket, but look at Saihate's position now. Shouldn't be contested up here. Sound barrier though to keep the side of Fireball alive, but the tac visor just going to work here. But Aputo's there to find him up on the balcony there. Should be able to find Dodoloff, and indeed he does as well. Ninth can be keeping this one alive here. Doesn't have a mech, but he doesn't need it because he's got a pistol and a dream. And now the nano boost as well actually onto Aputo, so maybe a little bit of an overcommitment there coming up from the side of Fireball. NZ9 just managing to pick up the last Diva kill there. So, I mean, good stuff from Fireball to stabilize off the back of that.
DeToNator still, I don't think DeToNator got the EMP timing that they really wanted. Still, Fireball aren't really picking the fights either, so eventually DeToNator are going to get the fight that they're looking for. Eventually they are going to get the perfect EMP play, except if Fireball can actually make moves to either A, spread themselves out to start with, and B, as well as spread themselves out, actually pick the fight before DeToNator can.
Well, DeToNator managed to get themselves control of that high ground there. Anakin trying to escape with his life. Should be able to do so here. Get the hack
revealed,
maybe.
actually. Wow.
Oh my goodness. He is in a spot of bother right now. Can he escape with his life? No, he can't. Aputo looking for that kill, manages to find it there. Saihate up in the back lines here, managing to fall back to the rest of his team. DeToNator need to pull out of this one and pull out fast.
Where have I heard that before? Anyway, it's going to be DeToNator now. With the 5 ultimates already set up, you've got Saihate as well really coming up quite quickly with his. And like I said, DeToNator's plan here as the setup type of play, they need to go for the one big death push. Their entire game plan revolves around getting the perfect offense on a setup play.
Well, they're
Here
looking...
it is. Wow, they lost Saihate before Tag Visor can come up. That's going to be a good shutdown.
Yeah, good stuff there from NZ. Now just on the point, doesn't even matter that he's on that EMP. Manages to find 2 as well. Now Aputo just looking to clean up the rest of these DeToNator players. They shouldn't really commit any ultimates here, as that nano boost as well is going to be on Aputo. Hack coming through onto him as well, and it just will not be what DeToNator were looking for there. Losing that soldier very early into that fight. Still managed to keep themselves a couple of ultimates there. But I guess a little bit of an overcommitment coming from some of these ultimate uses from the side of DeToNator. And now this is going to be hard. They're going to have to look to build up all of them again.
Yep.
But Fireball have nothing in the tank. So I think maybe if DeToNator were to go now, get a lot of mileage out of maybe that tactical visor, that could be the opening that they're looking for.
Yeah, they've completely swapped off the Sombra now. They've realized they had their perfect push, and they didn't execute it, or at least Fireball made the counter plays correctly. So DeToNator recognizing they're either not gonna have time to go for the death push, or they just don't want to do it. They should just go back to what has been working, which has been, regardless of ults, they can pick up kills. And
Saihate, no.
here, they should be able to win.
Well, Saihate managing to stay alive through that one. That would have been a huge pick right now.
Down.
Yeah, and indeed they have the position as well, so Saihate can pick any balcony he wants now. Does have that tactical visor to work with. No nano boost though. It's going to be Yoshi just throwing out that self-destruct there on the point. If he can find something with this, they are managing to get themselves just a little bit of time there. Ninth though going to be the one just holding it down on the point. And
there's still 0% cap. DeToNator need to get at least 1 tick off this. If they don't get a single tick off this, it's going to be really disappointing because they opened up so well.
I mean, that sound barrier as well now on Fireball going to be keeping a lot of these players alive through this one. Aputo and NZ are going to be able to do a lot of work as well. NZ is such a great positioning there. Yoshi will find him though. So this might be, again, a little bit of an opening for DeToNator, but not when all these frontline members are going down. Still 0% on the cap. Minute 30 left to go and still absolutely nothing here on point 2. Fireball are doing an absolutely great job here at holding down point number 2. And you've got to remember as well, this is DeToNator's pick.
And the other thing for Fireball is, when it comes to Sombra, even if Fireball, and still not forgiving them for not really taking initiative, but if you're not going to take initiative, at least one way to counterplay Sombra is to spread your members out. And on a defense like Hanamura, as you can actually see here, they got members all over the show. You got 2 members on the left side, high ground, 2 on the right side, high ground, and EMP is never going to be effective. So for DeToNator, they wasted a lot of time with that. This is going to be now Fireball choosing their moment, and Aputo, well, he got 1, but he also got shut down quite quickly.
And it wasn't even a very big kill there as well. It was De La Vie, didn't even have the sound barrier up to work with. So this could be, again, for DeToNator, something that they can work with here. It's going to be Anakin able to find that kill onto Rocket. Now they're just trying to get Saihate set up again on this high ground. They do have the nano boost to work with as well. They actually are just going to fall back here and wait for the rest of the team just to get back into this one.
30 seconds with 0% cap. I'm not expecting them to get a full cap out here. I would like to at least just see a tick, maybe 2 ticks if they can get a bit of momentum, but can't see it successfully happening. They would have to shut down the nanovisor to start with, and then their own nanovisor would have to absolutely clean up. And if Ninth is on point, Ninth should be able to shut down Saihate. That's going to be key for Fireball's defense.
Well, they've done it once before already with Ensign shutting down that tech visor. Saihate going to be using his first air has the boost as well.
Straight into
and
Matrix.
look at that, Matrix
Good job,
all
Knight.
over it there. Good job, mate, indeed. And now Saihate instantly pressured out there. Great counterplay now coming up from the side of Fireball. Amakin up in the back lines trying to find any kind of opening he can. Has the Dragon Blade here, looking to find himself Ensign. He manages to catch him, but Apudo and Ninth up in the front lines is doing so much damage to the side of DeToNator. It is just even trades left and right. They still are sitting on 0% though. Over
Too many
time,
Fireball members alive.
they
Far
need to
too
find
many.
something. That self-destruct doing a little bit, but now Apudo answers with the blade, and this is the hope of Fireball, slicing and dicing all through the side
you
of
can't deflect
DeToNator.
that.
And this is gonna be it. Fireball holding down on point number 2. DeToNator with a grand, huge, massive amount of 0%. Woo!
And Amakin for the second time in a row. Can I deflect the Dragon Blade? The answer is no, you cannot.
Well, it's like me and Smite the other weekend when I was saying you could block out the Reinhardt hammer. You know, maybe he listened to me and was like, maybe you can block
I
a
think
Dragon
Smite
Blade.
I think Smite should have bet on Ninth because Ninth ended up being the one blocking out ultimates with the Matrix tonight. And it's been working out quite well.
Well,
for him.
can I also just take us back in time at the start of this map here when I said that, you know, DeToNator, yep. They start.
This hand movement, this is Amakin, get out of my way. This is Dragon Blade practice. This is how I Dragon Blade, like just
left,
like that.
right, left, right, left, right. But this is what I was sort of saying, is that DeToNator, they just don't have the endurance, it seems like. I mean, they might get a 0.1 hold here. I'm not taking that away from them. I mean, De La V's hog is pretty damn good. But this is sort of the case that seems to happen night in, night out when we see DeToNator play, you know, start strong, pick up map number 1, go King's Row, look quite strong, you know, but slowly get themselves edged out there, and then now can't even get a single percentage there. But I mean, Fireball played that defense immaculately.
So just one thing I want to touch on with the 0% that we're going to be talking about is that this is a new patch. So while DeToNator did cap a little bit of the point, you have to actually cap at least 33% of the point for it to go into what we've been used to on the live servers, right? So all Fireball need to do on the second point, if they make it there, is cap out to 33%. Now that's still a little bit considerable for the second point of Hanamura, but still very doable.
I mean, looking at sort of how they held their defense there as well, they definitely have, I guess, maybe a deeper understanding of, I guess, you know, the inner sort of workings of, you know, the angles they can take there. So I feel we're going to see a lot more split up play from them. I don't think that they're going to be relying on sort of a big death ball to push up, you know, get control of the high ground. They'll probably get control of the high ground, then reposition, but we're right underway here, and Ninth going back onto the Widowmaker.
That's a good angle
V's,
from
the
good angle from
Torbjorn,
Ninth.
the Torbjorn meta. How do we feel about this?
No.
It's not going to be working too well as Ensign
So far, yeah, I
finds
think
it.
Ensign are just going to take the turret pretty easily here, but Kurlos goes down as well. It's good early initial picks out of Fireball, and interestingly enough, nothing from Ninth. It's all just picks out of everyone else except Ninth. And Ninth is going to die without really contributing anything.
But Apudo, look at him, he's absolutely woken up. Those hand stretches definitely doing work here. He's a solo up on the point now, should fall back ever so slightly here, right into the loving arms of his Lucio right there to keep him sustained through this one. Picking up a kill there as well. Zalfit's going to be helping him out as well. And this is all Fireball right now. This should be their cap. Let's see who on the side of DeToNator can keep it alive. Nobody.
So here's the important thing. Apudo's on 82%. If they roll through with a nice Dragon Blade really quickly, they're not going to be able to build up any other ultimates, and that's okay. Rocket might get a Primal Rage, not going to help them out that much realistically. The Dragon Blade, this is going to be King's Row at that final moment, in time back all over again. It's all going to be up to Apudo. If he gets a lot out of this Dragon Blade, this could be the win outright. 33%, you can absolutely get that.
Amakin got himself a little bit of charge there. Samurai D, though, finding that kill onto Rocket, so that's quite disastrous now for the side of Fireball. They should be able to, they should just fall back right
it's not
now.
happening.
But they are actually committing into this fight now. Apudo dropping, Ninth dropping. Going to be Zalfix getting taken down as well onto the point. And stabilization. Stabilization?
I was going to say, if you can fall out as Fireball, you should do that now, but no, they all got caught. 6 players down means 3 ultimates, actually coming up to about 4 ultimates with DeToNator. And Fireball, they had one shot. They had one shot,
One
with the Dragon
opportunity.
Blade, one opportunity, and
Did not
they
miss it.
totally mom spaghetti that one.
I'm glad you caught that one. I'm glad you caught that one there. But now DeToNator, though, they are, you know, ahead on the ultimates here as well. So very easy now for them to sort of set up on this defense. A lot to work with here. Apudo, the Dragon Blade in a Dream, as we've sort of talked about here. But the Primal Rage is going to be keeping the Winston easily alive through this one. And Amakin getting the better Dragon Blade here, it seems. Triple kill for him there. And this needs to be Fireball falling back again.
Yeah, well, see, this was actually a really good fight for Fireball. I was actually going to say, if you're DeToNator, you don't want to ult first, you want to ult second. You want to just play, the fight out, wait for Fireball to commit, and because you have more ultimates, you're likely to win regardless. So you ulting second means you draw ultimates out of Fireball, which means they don't have this chance to actually just build up. And Fireball are going to walk in now with a pretty decent advantage themselves, and for a team that only needs to get 33% to get one tick, this is Fireball's plan, and they can execute that.
Well, as I mentioned sort of before, you see the main brunt of the attack going up the right side there. Apudo over on the left just to clean out any sort of lone wolves. It's going to be Amakin just blocking him out over there. And Apudo does get taken down there. They managed to find that kill onto Amakin. So big DPS player taken down a piece here. But now
DeToNator still clutch it.
Good control of the high ground here. And he does have a lot of support with him. Oh, Tactical Visor now coming
straight
in.
into Matrix again, though.
All over that one. Sayhate getting pushed off the edge here, it seems. That doesn't even, just eats the fist rocket, just blasting off there, just taking him down.
Team Rocket taken off again.
And now NZR, you're just the meme supreme today. NZR just going to work up on the high ground here. Apudo with the Dragon Blade picking up a double there as well. Self-destruct doesn't find anything there, but they are managing to get themselves some cap time. No, they're not.
That Nanovisor unintentionally just fired into a Matrix.
And I mean, look at this. They are managing to find the kills yet again here. This is surely when they're going to get themselves some cap time. Sound barrier coming out from De La Vie to keep these last couple of players alive on the point. Still big contest here coming out from the side of DeToNator. Now counter Dragon Blade. Can he find enough with it? It's going to be Kurlos. NZR running for his life. The May is out as well. What is going on here? Still not managing to find anything here on the point. This is Contest City.
And the problem was they didn't kill Amakin. NZR spent a decent amount of time just on De La Vie. Samurai G's Primal Rage realistically is what kept them in for so long. Without the Primal Rage, I expect the cap would have actually gone over and taken that would have been the entire game. Amakin's clutch Dragon Blade right at the end there was the nail in the coffin for Fireball's push. And Fireball had that one push where they were significantly ahead. 3 minutes and 20 is still a decent amount of time to work with, but it's going to take at least another minute and another couple of pushes until they're back in the same position where they can go for a game-winning fight.
Well, going to be...
Or they can be DeToNator from Lijiang Tower and just go in and win out of nowhere.
And just left click everybody, and I mean they're hoping to do so right now. Pressure up onto the high grounds. NZR almost getting bursted down through that one. Amakin does find that kill onto Kurlos though, and Zalfus as well. So supports here down for the side of Fireball. Apudo is close to follow as well after that one. Amakin making very short work here of the side of Fireball now, and he's got another Dragon Blade up again.
It's going to be another fight with Fireball, just do a full wipe. Feed a bunch of ults to DeToNator, and for DeToNator, it's okay as long as DeToNator using ults when Fireball isn't, and then Fireball can build themselves up to a position where they're very likely to win. Couple of things I got to draw out here is Primal Rage is absolutely going to block them out as the primary stall option for DeToNator, so DeToNator have to play the Primal Rage really carefully here.
Oh, look at that, and Amakin's position manages to catch Apudo out as he tries to creep his way in there, and Amakin's not worried at all. Boost on him as well with the blade out, managing to do a lot of damage straight into the face of the side of Fireball.
He barely gets a kill. In fact, he doesn't get a single kill. He just gets a mech.
So, I mean, a lot of damage given out there as well, so support should be able to build a lot of ultimate off the back of that one. Just going to be hunting down 9th over here on the Diva. But DeToNator do manage to stabilize off this one here.
Yeah, well, I think Fireball also kind of happy for DeToNator to just throw a couple more ults out. This is calculated play from Fireball. Bleed out DeToNator, bleed out all the resources they have, and now you're going to come in with a big advantage. I said it was going to take at least one. It took them a minute and a half and a little bit extra as well. But 6 ultimates against 2. Mind you, the Primal Rage is going to be the big problem for Fireball. Fireball have to be able to ration out a decent amount of ultimates where they commit enough to get the Primal Rage out, and then they have a couple ultimates left to secure the actual cap.
Well, NZR has a decent amount of positioning here up on the high ground again.
I like they didn't nano boost there. That's good because they can save it for NZR.
Oh, well, self-destruct came in there. Let's see if his Tactical Visor does anything. Not at all as Sayhate manages to get that kill onto him there. Does have the Diva just eating that one up as well. Yoshiharu's Diva, though, going to be left quite alone on the point now. Self-destruct, not going to be needed at all, and simply holds it.
Fireball with 6 ultimates. Apudo gets the opening kill. Ins and Outs Tech Visor gets fairly annihilated by is that Samurai D? It is. And Samurai D didn't even have the primal rage there, so the biggest stall tool for DeToNator, Fireball didn't even get that out. They didn't even get rid of the primal rage.
This is good though. Now they've managed to find their early kill onto Apudo, so he's been taken down out of this one. They managed to pick Rocket up as well, so I mean, don't have to worry about the primal rage right now, but they are rethinking their strategy, waiting for the rest of these teammates to get themselves in here. So giving DeToNator just a little bit of time to work with. Gonna be NZ now getting himself around the side. No, he's not. It's gonna be Saihate just sitting out there.
This is a full-on flip, and with 6 ultimates on DeToNator and 10 seconds to go, and still 0% hit. Like they got a few percent in there, but unless you get the 1 tick, it doesn't matter. This could just be a draw.
Oh, Nano Blade coming in there from Anakin, taking down Kurlos early into the fight.
Okay, but that's a double works.
That's big indeed now, and now Anakin on the point, looking to do as much as he can here for the side of DeToNator to keep them alive, 3 members down. But the rest of Fireball are just dropping here. No one even on the point, as I say. That's going to be Rocket to come blasting in and then blasting out as he gets taken down almost instantly there. Dragon Blade on Apudo, nothing he can do there. We're going into overtime, into look at
my
that.
hand would be in my face too.
Look at that,
my
not
hand would
happy.
absolutely be in my own face.
Oh,
yeah. No, that's
no. You know, like it's one of those things. You get the one who gets more kills, you win. Based on kills, you win. Not actually.
Which, like, you'd think would be enough to actually win you the game, but so much of the game is actually translating kills into objectives, which for Fireball, I think hasn't really been happening. And
yeah, I mean, they're getting the kills right now, but can they get themselves the cap?
we'll find out in 2 seconds.
And indeed, the cap is about to unlock here, and it is going to be falling into Fireball's favor here. They will get themselves the first cap here, and they've won. No, they haven't won the game yet. So they do have control right now. I think that this is where obviously DeToNator will be able to answer back now. Yoshiharu in quite a good position, does have a little bit of support to work with here, but Fireball being aware of where he's trying to get to, and it's obviously the man himself, Apudo. Nice reflect there as well. So Apudo putting good pressure onto Yoshiharu, not letting him get set up too well. Saihate as well up here, not being able to do too much work as he's instantly pressured out here by the enemy Tracer as well on the DeToNator side.
So this is DeToNator trying to secure high positioning for Yoshiharu. They take down Apudo, which means they need to turn on the gas now. They need to actually convert a 6v5 into a 6v4 and then get a recap. We're already at 35%, and it's going to be ultimates committed by Fireball, so I think DeToNator are actually losing advantage.
Yeah, and they are actually dropping right now, but kills, it's not being found just yet. It is going to be Fireball to pick up that first one. There's that self-destruct, buys them time, and a kill onto De La V as well. Going to be Apudo just cleaning up one more as well, and Fireball still in control of the point here. DeToNator need to answer this one and answer this one quick, because Fireball on 55% here, Rocket in a good position as well.
Yeah, it's this kind of situation where you got the kill onto Apudo. That's the main DPS, not even just the main DPS, but he's Apudo. He's the star of the entire team. You got him down, 6v5. If DeToNator, what do they do with it? They actually didn't turn that into a 6v4. They didn't convert that into further kills, and they couldn't turn that into an objective. And now it's going to be double dragon plays. And so far, I think Apudo's come out on top of these.
And he definitely has managed to pick up, I'd say, a little bit more than his counterpart of Anakin there. Now, Anakin on the point does have a Tracer by his side. Let's see if they can manage to find themselves some kills there. So Saihate finding a mech and a Winston as well. So, I mean, is it enough, though? No, it will not be, as Apudo will take him down as well. Apudo has absolutely woken up here. 93% now, transcended straight onto the point. I feel that was not needed.
A little bit too keen.
Definitely a little bit too keen being there, as he just transcendences onto the point with no damage being taken and no teammates around him there. Apudo going to make Dodoloff pay for that one. And now it is going to be a kill in the side of DeToNator here, but Fireball should be all over this one.
Okay, hello. Ooh, that happened. Double pulse bomb kill from Saihate. Might just turn things around. There's not a lot of players there for Fireball. Still a Dragon Blade coming online for Apudo, though. I wonder if he'll use it to try and make the hero play, and indeed he does.
He is managing to slash his way through that one, taking down Yoshiharu there on the point, but Saihate is not giving up this one just yet. But Apudo is going to find some ninja stars to the face. Fireball pick up Ilios, and
to Dorado. And it will, of course, be DeToNator on the attack. Fireball defending first with a counter dive. And I said this before, but if you're going to run a counter dive, I want to see the dive. The dive portion of the counter dive is actually kind of important.
Well, I mean, you know Apudo is going to be getting in there, that's for sure. As Rocket gets this one frisky, going straight in, and then straight out of this one. Now Samurai D pouncing, but he pays right there. Knight sitting up on the high ground. Great play there. And that is what they were looking for to open this one up. Anakin, though, trying to find something, is going to be forced back with the rest of his team here. And now Apudo looking in a good position here as well. I think we're going to see a little repeat of that on this next offense coming out from Fireball.
Well, I mean, Ninth picking up the first. This is actually a very
Oh, that's all on Rocket,
aggressive.
though.
This is actually a super aggressive defense. So I'm kind of liking it because this gives Fireball a decent opportunity to actually fulfill their
Support
compositional goal. And Anakin is not going to get into that. 1v4, not today.
Yeah, I mean, there's being fashionably late, and then there's being completely late right there.
Well, he went for it. And either he went for it, either he went for it, or Fireball were just like, hey, that's a kill.
I mean, yeah, he's just sneaking his way back into the house, and Biotic Grenade finds its way there, gets itself this kill. And I mean, the setup coming out from Fireball, you can sort of see why they've, not sort of, you can definitely see why they've picked this
Okay,
now.
quickly though, a couple of change-ups for DeToNator. Anakin now onto the McCree. You got Samurai D now onto the Reinhardt. Has he been a Reinhardt the whole time? I have no idea.
I think he did it once on Hanamura.
No, I think he started on Winston. I'm pretty sure. So they haven't managed. They haven't managed to get past realistically the first corner. And I don't expect Fireball to give it to them easily as well, particularly not if they're already setting ultimates.
And a
Pulse
Dragon
Bomb
Blade.
went out, it completely missed. I think it's going to be Apudo's turn any moment.
He is looking just to wait for that opportune moment there. I feel like he should go from the high ground just for those swag points there. You know what I'm talking about. But they are managing to get themselves up. I'm sure you do, mate. And there we go. Gets himself right in there. Doesn't even hit the Dragon Blade yet.
I'm not too sure what that was from Apudo.
How is he getting himself alive? No, he manages to pay the price and get taken down there. But Knight sitting up on the high ground here with that tech visor. Still no one to contest him, and they've got nothing really there. It's going to be just Yoshiharu. What is happening right now? This is just an absolute mess, but indeed it's sort of working out for the way of Fireball. They're managing to hold this one down, just throwing things.
I'm trying to make sense of this because Fireball commit ults, they don't pick up the kills, but DeToNator also don't get the counter trades back, so neither team's really doing it. I don't know.
Well, Nano Visor coming in right now. This should finally do some work here. Now Fireball are picking some kills up, and this is what I was talking about just before, you know, when we were in that in-between breaks there. This is like the battle of the wacky races, you know what I'm saying? Who can sort of do the least craziness out of these two crazy teams?
What I enjoyed was Yoshiharu hanging out at the bottom and just looking at Ninth and just saying, man, I wish I could just fly up there and matrix this, but I can't because everything's on cooldown.
Oh, Anakin though, hitting the Deadeye, finding that kill onto Rocket, starting things off hot here. And now DeToNator starting to get a little bit of movement on the cart.
That was a snipe. That
fire
strike was a total snipe.
Yeah, see you later, Zalfix. I mean, not feeling Zenyatta here.
Can you believe it's 36 seconds remaining? Unfortunately, I don't think Fireball are going to be able to get in here in time. Could see some golden magic from Apudo's Dragonblade, but I don't know. I don't want to bank on that right now because the card is in such a great position. You've got a lot of momentum for DeToNator. You've got ultimates as well. Even those 20 seconds, Apudo wants to make the hero
There's the
play.
blade. Ninth is with him as well.
Well,
it is going to be Anakin though, finding that kill onto Apudo, but still ends in there, managing to keep himself alive, manages to take down his counterpart of Saihate. Nano boost coming in on Anakin though, is not going to be finding too much more, but that nice flashbang, can't find the kills. Rocket's there to clean it up, Ninth as well, and Fireball managing to stabilize. Don't even let DeToNator get the first cap here. So now, let's see what DeToNator can do on their defense. Is it going to be brick wall or paper?
Oh man, see. Apudo came in with the Dragon Blade. I was like half expected, half like, you half think, oh, this is too risky, and half like, yeah, it's Apudo, he can totally do it. See, we went in there, got his kill, got flashbang killed by Anakin. That's the expected result. So the expected result is Apudo went in for the hero play, and you shut him down because your team is positioned well. You're on the cart, you got the momentum, you got the Earth Shatter, everything's in your favor. Oh yeah, and then DeToNator and Knights just sort of roll up as well and clean up everything else, and you gotta sit there for a moment and think. So with all the ultimates that DeToNator had and all the everything that was going right for them,
Bit of tunnel vision again, I feel, coming out from
How did you lose that? How did you lose?
It's kind of DeToNator's thing though sometimes. Usually I see that a little bit of that, but also we usually see them, their best moments are when they win fights They shouldn't. If you look at the resources, they're behind in ultimates, or maybe they're behind in positioning, or even they're just desperate for time. Sometimes those are the magical fights that they do win. But when they're ahead, sometimes just something slips out. Like they've got all these ultimates, they're literally parked on top of the payload, and then Apuro just comes in and kills them. And
Yeah, I just... as much as it's great that Fireball are taking out these fights, I almost feel like they're being rewarded for things that are super risky, and in like most other situations you shouldn't be able to get away with. Stuff you shouldn't be able to get away with, Fireball are getting away with. And like they're not just getting away with it. They're robbing DeToNator of all their gold and just laughing to the bank right now.
Yeah, it's just wacky races really, mate. Like I can't really understand what is going on. I mean, this is probably going to be a little bit more of a structured piece of offense coming out from Fireball here, sort of.
That is a lot quicker. That is a lot quicker from Fireball, and Amakin's going to try his best to delay, but unfortunately the rest of his team got entirely assaulted on the side anyway.
And I mean, there we go again, entered now when he goes on that Pharaoh. We've talked about it before, gets taken out right there. But Ninth, though, should be able to find this kill, or is it Lucio?
That
no,
was
it's not.
way too close.
Oh, De La V almost managing to find that kill. That would have been absolutely huge there. So now Fireball having a little bit of room to work with here. One support down on the side of DeToNator. But it's just going to be Saihate managing to pick up Ninth up in the back lines. They're now pressure up on the high ground. Apuro needs to get in here and help, and indeed he is here to save the day. Look at this now, Fireball cleaning up these DeToNator players.
Apuro is great.
I mean, he is the man, the myth, the legend, and now these DeToNator players looking a little bit split up here. Apuro managing to bait Samurai D into the rest of his team there. Can they pick the kill up, though? That's the real question.
But look at the card distance. We've only just started the game. I shouldn't even be surprised, but Fireball, this is the expected card distance. This is where the card's meant to be this far into the game. The fact that it took so long to even get it there to start with was a problem in and of itself. So regardless of Fireball's result of this current fight, card's in such a good position that you got to think they got enough time to get it out.
Oh,
and I think they just got to win right here.
And yeah, the Dragon Blade coming in now from Apuro, doesn't even need to find this kill. Oh, but it doesn't matter. Amakin getting absolutely blown off the map there. And now Fireball looking extremely good. That Transcendence just going to be used for just the
just for flavor,
just for style points as well there. And
style Transcendence.
Yeah, you know, just look at me. Look how golden I am. Look how golden this win's about to be as Apuro slicing that one.
I think they need to get the win first before they can do anything like that. And unfortunately for Fireball, DeToNator aren't giving this one up.
Oh, no, they're not, and that's the Dragon Blade now coming in. Will he find anything with it, though? It doesn't look like it, as Kurlos is going to be the one to take him down there. Now Saihate, all hopes are on him here. 99%, can't even get that tech visor. Gets taken out. Cart still not moving yet. Yoshiharu just rushing in, but they're just trickling back onto the point barrage. Boom, there it goes. And this has got to be Fireball's moment right now. But still, DeToNator not wanting to give anything away, just charging back to the point. But there it is, and that's going to be Fireball picking up the series here, 3-1.